there, everyone. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 7 of Film Bros Championship Podcast. I am Tim, and with me is my co-host, Patrick. How you doing, buddy?
This movie sucks. I've never felt more like Joe Bluth. Because my plan was to punish you for making me wait a day, and you seemed in too good a mood from watching too many good movies, so I have to punish you.
Yeah.
And immediately, within like 2 minutes, I've made a huge mistake.
You regret everything.
I hurt myself.
You hurt everybody. You didn't just hurt yourself, because this was
But I care about
rough.
the person I care about the most. I hurt the person I care about the most, me.
Yes.
That was a problem.
It was rough, man. It was rough. It was weird where I'm like, I went back and forth when I was like scoring it. I'm like, can I score it more harshly, or am I being too harsh? And then I kept whiffling, and I kept going back and forth, and so I'm curious where we land. But it's gonna be low. It's gonna be the all new low for sure.
Yep.
It is bottom of the list. And I didn't know when you originally told me last episode that this was apparently considered on some people's list one of the worst movies ever.
Yeah, it was on some lists or clip shows of like worst movies ever made.
Man,
Fair.
It computes. That makes sense. The math works there.
Yeah.
I guess should we do a short recap? Should I do this one, or do you want? I don't even know.
It's my pick, so I have to.
Okay, yeah. Enjoy that recap, bud.
All right, so an evil wizard makes a deal with some evil god, I guess, that he's going to sacrifice one of his firstborn baby. But oops, turns out they're twins, and he doesn't know which one is the firstborn baby. Anyway,
Very inconvenient.
he gets, before he's able to say, screw it, I'll kill them both, he gets stopped by another good wizard and company.
A good witch and a bad witch.
Yeah, good wizard hides the babies, tells them to raise them like men and fierce warriors. And, of course, the evil wizard comes back to life because he has the ability to come back at least 3 times, I think, because his name is Trigon. Anyway.
Oh, I didn't catch the 3 thing. Because they said, like, which life am I taking? So I was like, is this a cat situation? But okay, yeah.
Exactly. So, anyway, once the evil wizard comes back, he decides to go and try the prophecy again or whatever, or deal with the god, and then kills the adopted family of the twins. The twins decide to go and kill him. And, yeah, that happened.
Revenge!
God, this movie sucks. It sucks
So bad. It's so bad. There is 0 redeeming qualities.
I appreciated all the nudity, but
there was a lot. There was a couple of notes where I'm like, is this porn?
Yeah. It happens a lot in Roger Corman movies. He knows what sells, especially since he was usually designing at this time movies for the drive-in theater. So some trash. He was making cheap trash. That's his name of the game. And sometimes good stuff snuck through.
Yeah.
Because he was willing to give a lot of interesting people chances. So Peter Bogdanovich got to start making a Roger Corman movie. Like I said, James Cameron got to start. Jack Nicholson started working on Roger Corman movies.
Okay.
Yeah, Corman was an interesting guy. But as long as you were able to get it out on budget and out on time, he'd let you do what you want. And if you didn't, he'd take it over and do it himself.
Wow. I wonder if he had to take over on this one or not.
He did. At one point, because the director quit and asked for his name to be taken off because he said Corman wasn't giving him the budget for the special effects that he was promised. And, buddy, if you think the special effects are the major problem in this movie, you are delusional.
I think, if anything, the special effects were bad enough that it made me giggle a couple of times.
Sure.
But, so I would say, if anything, that was a bright point. But yeah, the rest of this movie is pure garbage.
This movie is 82 minutes long. The first minute is spent on credits against the black screen where you're looking at nothing except for words. And it took me like 2 hours to watch it because I got so angry at parts or annoyed. Like I had to just pause and walk away.
I feel like they probably spent special effects money on just the title, the intro title alone, with the sword coming in and it's
very
like
Legend of
ridiculous.
Zelda.
Yeah, exactly. But I wish there.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right, so I guess hero, which we got dual heroes here.
Yes, the twins. It takes 31 minutes to find out what the twins' names are in this movie.
Yeah,
I checked. I was like,
did you? Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure.
Into an 82-minute movie to find out who our leads' names are.
I feel like I'm still not positive on what their names are.
It's Mira and Mara.
Oh, okay. Wow, okay. Mira and Mara.
Yeah. It's 31 minutes.
Sure. They are the most naive.
Oh, they're so dumb.
And they also like I'm trying to think of it. They're quick to be. We should not trust this person, but then completely open arms trust the person, and it happens like frequently throughout the movie. Where like I don't know about this, and then they end up going like, okay, let's go, kind of deal.
Everything in this is like porn logic.
Yeah,
it's like doesn't make any sense. It's terrible.
There's like so many times where I say, "Is this pornography?" Whereas the porn music should start now.
The movie would have been more interesting if it had been. It is so trash.
Yeah.
The movie starts off with these. Mira and Mara, by the way, are played by these two former Playboy playmates, and everyone in this movie, including the playmates, is dubbed.
Yeah.
So I have no idea if they actually sounded like this, but.
There was only like two characters where the ADR was so absurd with their voice was like, that's clearly not that person.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's all bad ADR, but I have no idea. But there was two that come to mind that was like egregiously like, yeah, that's not even close to what that person's voice is, I think.
Well,
yeah.
The movie lets you in like immediately what this movie is really about, because when we first see these twins as adults, because we technically see them as babies to begin with, they are skinny dipping.
Yeah.
And that's another like minute of them just floating around.
Just swimming.
And they're being peeped at by a satyr who makes these like baby goat noises.
Okay, so I just called him, what did I call him?
His name is Pando, we find out.
Is that what his name is?
Much later on, we find out his name is Pando.
I called him Goat Boy.
His name is Pando.
As soon as you see him, I was like, oh, what the hell is this?
But it's so weird that when he talks, he just verbally makes baby goat noises.
Yeah. That's the only thing he knows how to make. But he's also a horny.
Well, we'll get into Pando later.
Yeah. Well, you're right. Sorry. Let's state of the hero.
The first things we hear these girls say is when they see Pando, who is peeping on them, what's that between his legs? Some kind of horn? How would he use such a weapon? These women have never seen a dong before, even though they have animals on this farm.
Yes, and they were asked questions about how breeding works with animals, and they could answer that question.
Yeah, these girls, we find out later on, have no idea what the difference is between girls and boys, human girls and boys.
Yeah, because they didn't understand the whole thing about their boobs.
No, even though like 90% of the men in this movie are not wearing a shirt, they don't understand the difference between like them having breasts and men. Some people don't. Yeah,
and so they're supposed to be raised as boys or lads, as I feel like they're referred to.
And they truly believe that they are boys.
Yeah, they truly believe they're boys, and everyone is fooled by their disguise.
Yes, everyone's
which makes no sense.
It doesn't no.
Because aren't they wearing basically skirts? And I mean, they're very feminine. There's no way to say that they're not looking feminine. They got a hat on. I guess their hair's a little shorter. Maybe I don't know. But
bulky vests and hat. I guess they could be shorts. I don't know, man.
I don't know. But it made no sense because there's clearly no. I'm sorry. They're clearly females. There's no way that nobody is not picking up on. Yeah.
But like you said, it's not just this. When this is very dumb. But they got tricked out of the safe house where they're told just to stay here by oh no, some random stranger comes and knocks on the door. It's like, no, they want you to meet over here, so we'll come here. And okay, I literally just smacked my head and winced. Like, come on.
But that's how they're like the whole movie. Again, it's like there is a line with the what's her name, the prostitute type character who tricks them, right? Where they're like, oh, we don't know who this person is. It's like, oh no, I'm so and so's friend. Come with me. Oh, okay then. Like, so they always have like a comment about we shouldn't trust this thing.
Yeah.
But then immediately goes and trusts the person. I think the only person they didn't outright trust right away is Goat Boy.
Panda,
they
yeah,
just
punch and kick.
Yeah, and then he runs off and he ends up being like actually a worthwhile character, I guess, by the end.
Well, let's not throw kind words around in this movie that don't.
I guess I just mean like he was productive at the end. He did something for the plot.
We'll get into that, and I refuse.
Yeah, but anyway, it's kind of ridiculous that every time they're like, no, this we don't trust this, but okay, then we'll go. Like it was just maddening watching this the entire time. Like these are the dumbest heroes ever, and they don't earn anything, right?
No.
So you're given like I'm like okay, so this sorcerer is gonna train them. That's the gist you're gonna get.
Did for the evil guards.
Yes, he trains Trigon's group or whatever. He trained them all, I guess, before he realized they were villain. Yeah,
but no, he touches them and turns them temporarily blue.
Yes, they glow blue, which looks ridiculous.
Given fighting abilities and magic abilities.
Right. Which none of that is explained to them or anything. Nope. And so, like, and the craziest thing is I'm not going to get into the action sequence, but they just, before they go into an action sequence, they randomly glow blue right before the action starts.
Remember, they already automatically know how to fight. Yeah. Yeah,
which was, like, absurd, and that doesn't happen again for the rest of the movie, but it's just oh my God. But this is ridiculous. I just like this is them pretending to be boys. This is the worst kept secret. The perfect disguise? Are you effing serious? How is this fooling anyone? Like, it's just oh my God.
No, and it gets worse. Like they have lines like, "Has it something to do with the feeling I get in my loins when I touch you?" It's literally porn dialogue.
Yes. But I think that was like towards later on when she's supposed to hook up. Yeah. And that I have a comment on that line too. That was insane. Here I have another one. They don't know that they are not boys. What the hell is happening?
Later on in the movie, there is a scene where Mara gets roofied by her dad, and the love interest male. I don't know what to call him. Erlich.
Yeah.
He also gets roofied.
Erlich, I think, is like his name.
Erlich, yeah, so they can make a baby because it makes the sacrifice better, apparently. I think they just need another excuse to get her naked.
That logic made no sense. Like, you have to bet her and then kill her? It made no sense.
Yeah, well, I guess her being pregnant makes the sacrifice better, so they say. But somehow it only happens at this point. While she's making love to Erlich, she, is enjoying herself. Somehow her twin feels this enjoyment and has a simultaneous orgasm.
Yeah, and it is graphic.
Yes, she's thriving, raving all over the place.
She's feeling herself.
There's no other version of that in the movie. Like when one gets hurt, the other does not feel hurt. There's no
right.
That doesn't happen. It's just literally.
There is another thing I think where she's like, I see a field, and she knows where to go. Yes, I can kind of
see where this person is, and that's it. That's
yeah. But somehow it's taken to this extreme other thing.
It's so contrived. It's such nonsense.
And it's the most absurd scene, and it's just like I was like, thank God I'm not watching this in front of my children or my wife. Like, I'd feel very uncomfortable watching this with my parents. Like, it's just like because it gets really like
there's a long period of her writhing on the ground.
Yeah, she has multiple orgasms in this scene.
Seems to, and it drives Pando, the goat boy, insane, and he has to run away. And we don't see him for like 15 minutes later.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that one later.
Yeah. Anyway, the movie ends with the bad guy defeated, and Erlich, Mara, and Mira decide to be a poly family or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I got nothing else to say about them.
Yeah. I was like, I guess they are a throuple now?
Yeah.
Because they kept saying the line, the two are one, and that was the joke.
One. Yeah.
The two, well, they are one. That's why I can have them both. And it's like, okay, I guess you got them both to orgasm, sure. Like, I don't know. Like, It makes no sense.
No. Hot garbage.
So bad. And they are truly terrible. They don't deserve or earn anything. They don't progress the plot forward themselves. Everybody's helping them along to everywhere. They don't themselves, like, there's never a moment like, oh, they truly are the one, and look at them really taking everybody down. Well, like, every once in a while they contribute, but it's
yeah.
They said a freaking word. That was their thing. Like, they said the word the sorcerer told them to remind them of, and that was the big thing. It's like, okay, so yeah.
They take down some of the evil guards when they come upon their adopted parents dead. Then they kind of fight a little bit in the brothel, and then in the end they have some individual minor actions. Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing there.
Yeah,
it's awful.
They don't progress anything. They don't really have any character arc or story. It's just like, hey, those the mom you had that you never know in your life and are just finding about now, you want revenge for her dying, right? Yes, let's go. Like, what? And then they're just getting pushed along. Like, they have earned nothing. They don't really contribute a whole lot, and there's no like reason for their development at all.
Yeah, it's a 1.
It's 1. It's awful.
Yeah,
real bad. Mm-hmm. I guess nice to look at. That's about it.
Yep, they were nice to look at.
Yeah.
Corman.
So, villain. Trigon, and
they have
which I feel like
Anton LaVey.
Trigun like an anime too? Because I kept thinking that every time they said Trigun.
Villain.
Okay, yeah. So I'm like, I know I've heard this name a ton of times. So I guess it's Trigun and it's
evil demon.
Yeah.
Yeah. From DC.
So Trigun, and who's an evil sorcerer wizard dude, and then there's this evil princess type character that we don't really get any.
I had to look it up. She does have a name in the movie.
Okay.
Despite me writing evil princess for almost all my notes.
Yeah, that's all my notes is evil princess.
Her name turned out to be Delissa.
Oh, that's kind of fun. Okay.
Yeah, didn't know it until I looked at the cast list. Like, oh.
Well, you don't get any background. I assume, I guess she's the one that's been in charge while he's been dead.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah,
it's not really explained. Yeah, and then there are various henchmen type things. Yeah. Which, why owls? None of that is like, what's with the owl connection? All the guards have this really dopey owl costume. And the visor comes, like the cone visor on top of their head comes down. And there's like
90% sure Corman either used it on a previous movie and just recycled it, or he got it cheap from some other production. That's usually what happens in situations like that. Them
being dressed in it. There is like a random where the twins' mom is killed and they use like a owl talon weapon thing. And then that's it. Super weird.
Yeah, they use that talon to rip out a woman's uterus.
Is that what they were doing?
Yeah.
It wasn't really obvious. It's like they basically stripped her half naked and then was doing something to her stomach area or something. I was just
okay. I'm going to make sure you never have another. So I just assumed going.
I didn't catch that line. Okay, that makes sense.
And then Trigon gets killed by said woman, stabbed in the back by her.
Yeah.
While he's busy talking to Kronos or whatever his name is.
Right, who just looks like a weird stereotype guru.
Yeah, we'll get into him later too. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so those are your main villains, I guess. And then later on, you have there's like a right-hand man to, I guess, I don't know, he's the main soldier guy, who I keep thinking... I didn't
bother looking up his name, but yeah.
I could have sworn he died earlier in the movie, and then he was later on. I was like, he's alive still? I thought he died. And then he has an interesting, like his arm gets chopped off, looks so horrible.
Forgot about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the evil princess has like a pet monkey thing that's like straight out of Wizard of Oz.
Hondo, the evil monkey man.
They wish they looked as good as the ones in the Wizard of Oz, which is a significantly older movie.
Yeah.
which is upsetting. And that monkey thing was super weird. Like, because it was not clear what the monkey was getting as a reward.
Oh, no, it was
because
clear. It was very clear.
I thought it was the evil princess was going to sleep with her pet monkey thing.
There's scenes that might have happened at some point, because she flirts with everybody in this movie.
Yeah.
Delissa. No, the reward for the evil monkey Hondo
was taking the younger twin.
Yes. Yeah.
You learn that, but I feel like you learn that information later.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't until, like, Master, he was supposed to get his reward. You're like, oh, because
earlier, there's a line of dialogue at some point before that. You find
Did
out.
I miss it again? Because I'm like, I don't know. The way that interaction went, I was like, are you suggesting that you're going to get it on with your primate thing there? Okay. Very disturbing.
I want to talk about this. When Trigon gets resurrected,
Yeah.
there is this split-second shot of all the other evil priests who never have a line of dialogue, where they're all covering their eyes because of a bright flashing light that's supposed to be there, but nothing ever shows up.
Yeah. Although it shows up towards the end of the movie to where at one point I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have a seizure. Jeez.
Anyway, Trigon just like Star Trek teleports onto the scene.
Yeah.
And he's back.
He's back in the same robes and everything. I was like, oh, it's the same person. Like, no change here.
His whole motivation is just to kill his eldest child. I guess as to figure out some deal with this evil god that he promised to.
Yeah, because he has a line in the beginning where he's like, the gods bow to me. What are you talking about? But then clearly is afraid of the god because he needs to make this sacrifice. And I'm guessing he gets a lot of his powers from this evil god thing. But
yeah, but he does have principles.
Okay.
He doesn't like people who steal. They get their hands chopped off if they get caught stealing.
That's true. By the way, that guy took his hands being chopped off incredibly well.
Very cool with it.
He was like, this is unfortunate.
In fact, I think Baldur says in the line of dialogue, he'll become a beggar and probably make more money. Oh,
yeah,
I was like,
which was really weird.
Cool. And he really hates people who cheat at gambling. That's a big no-no in his kingdom.
Big no-no, yeah. Although I kind of took that as an excuse just to kill the dude. Until he's like, oh, it's a prince, though.
No, he's just straight up the you get murdered. You get killed if you get caught cheating. That's the penalty.
Yeah.
And the way he devised it was probably special for him. But
right.
decided to...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wait a minute.
Actually, I take it back. I think he says death by impalement is the punishment.
Yes.
For stealing.
But I did not know that's how they were going to impale the person.
Yeah.
That was not clear. Because when that's starting to happen...
Well, let's talk about what happens. If you get caught cheating, they will rope you to a pole. And then they will cut out the table out from under you. So you start sliding down this pole. And what you're going to slide down onto is a spear aimed right at your ass.
Right through the rest.
So the guy is like sliding down. He's like, what did I have right now? You made your point. You don't have to stick it to me.
Oh my gosh. But it's like at first when you're like, I'm thinking like, I don't know. I guess I'm thinking impalement, like stereotypical, like, Dracula there or whatever his name is, the real historical figure. Well, I can't think of his name.
Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, Vlad the Impaler, right? And then I'm like, all of a sudden you're looking at a guy like lubing up a wood pole, and you're like, I have a note like
lube the pole first. About that.
Exactly. And I'm like, why are they looping the pole? Am I back in a porn again?
Yeah.
And then. Yeah. And then you're like seeing the spike and him sliding down. You're like, oh.
And let me tell you, while this is happening, there are multiple long close-ups of this guy's hairy ass coming down this pole. There is nothing left to the imagination here.
Yeah, you don't see like frontal nudity, but you get a lot of butt shots of this guy.
A lot of butt shots.
Yeah, he get like when they take him in afterwards, he's getting a massage or something, and he's all oiled up, and again he's butt naked again.
Yeah.
So you get some man butt, I guess, in this. But man, that was.
So anyway, that's crazy. Then you got Delissa, the evil princess.
Yeah.
And her first thing to do after Trigon gets resurrected is to hit on him.
Right.
And say, like, it's been a while. You owe me. And he's like, I don't have time for that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So after that, she starts flirting with Hondo, the evil monkey man. And then later Erlich. which is kind of interesting because she starts, it seems to be whoever sexes her up first gets to be on her side to take out the bad guy.
But then I wasn't sure if she was really.
She claimed when Trigon snuck up behind her, like, "You plotting against me?" She's like, "No, I'm just saying stuff." Okay.
At the same time, you could see like, okay, maybe it was a way to get him to drink the, the
roofie?
The juice, the
The
roofie,
roofie juice, yeah.
Exactly, drug them all up. So, because clearly they both come very susceptible to whatever they want once they are drinking the weird green roofie.
And it's really funny once Ehrlich and Mara both get roofied, which this is the only successful evil thing that Trigon does throughout the whole movie is roofie his daughter and some rando so they can have sex and make a baby, which I guess automatically happens in one shot. It's really funny that the director decided to hit both actors afterwards with these tiny green spotlights on their eyes, just to let everyone know that they are in a trance.
But they were doing that to the villains at the end of the movie too, and I made a comment about like, what's with the green like light on these people's faces?
That's how you know that they have the power of whatever the evil god's name is that I can't remember.
Yeah, and evil princess too. By the way, did you notice she's got like a specific cat trainer dude that's always there with a different cat, a big cat. Like at the beginning of the movie, it's a puma. I remember
seeing like a panther and a jaguar
like a leopard or something.
I don't
later
remember seeing
on.
more past that. I forgot about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was just like, this is an interesting assortment of people she has to follow with her, I guess.
Anyway, things don't work out great for her.
Hold on. The test to see which one's the oldest in the town square, did that make any sense to you?
I guess because she didn't get scarred.
So the youngest would have burned? I don't understand it.
That's my best test theory. Yeah, to test which one is the oldest one, they decided to stick your face into some hot coals.
Yeah.
I forget what she did. She did something, whatever, to the coals beforehand. But first one up, lucky to her, turned out to be fine, so she was declared the oldest. Like, okay.
Yeah, sure. It's like some weird, witches, if you float, you're a witch or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like insane logic.
Anyway, when chips are down for Trigon, he decides to sacrifice the evil princess instead of his daughter. And it works out fine, apparently.
Yeah.
Why go to all the trouble? I don't know. So evil princess turns into like a half-snake Unicron floating head that shoots green laser beams that sound like lightsabers igniting on the ground.
Wait a minute. Was that the same evil princess in the sky? Is that what it was?
Yeah. That's what happens to her.
Oh.
He stabs
by
her.
the way, I did kind of like that part. It was like, we'll take this one anyway. I'll stab the evil princess. Take her. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Why do we go to all this trouble of looking for the daughter then? If this one,
apparently it could have been anybody.
Yeah, this is a very unpicky god.
Apparently, like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then should we save the rest of that for action then? That sequence.
I will.
Because I can't wait to talk about the other god.
Yeah, we'll save that part.
Yeah.
Well, I will point out that later on, Trigon gets a corpse army that is incredibly lame and slow, and at one point even throws down their weapons to go after 6 virgins to rape them.
Yep.
And there's like a laugh line, like,
everybody chuckles about it. They need to get laid, It's all good.
And why does he have these 6 other virgins hanging out there for like sacrificing?
I think they were supposed to be sacrificed. Yeah, I thought they were going to sacrifice them, and then they didn't.
It's like, we need to kill my daughter and these 6 virgins. But in the end, we just killed this one evil princess, and it worked out fine. I got everything I needed.
Well, I think he was in a rush where he had to kill the evil princess, but it seemed like they were getting the show on the road with the daughter getting sacrificed even before the evil princess gets it, or even before the virgins got sacrificed. Yeah, so the timetable when the virgins were supposed to be sacrificed is weird, but not as weird as everybody else. Your heroes, by the way, not just any old characters, your heroes are chuckling about the virgins going off to get raped by the dead.
Yep. Can you blame them?
Oh my gosh, so messed up.
Anyway, in the end, Trigon gets killed by being shot in the back by twin arrows by the twins.
And disappears in green again. Yeah, he disappears in green again. So I guess there could be a sequel.
There could have been, yeah.
Oh my god.
So yeah, those are your villains, and I'm giving them all a 1 because blah. Uh-oh.
Yeah. No, I originally put down 1, and then I was like, this is so freaking insane, and all the different villains. And I was like, should I give it a 1.5? And I was like, no, 1. So no, I'm on board with a 1. It's terrible, so bad.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Moving on to action.
Action. Wow. So here's so slow, so lame.
It looks like everyone in this movie is using wooden or rubber swords,
and everybody is going half speed.
Yeah.
Everybody's in that, like where you've seen behind the scenes footage of like actors training in sword fights and things, and they're going slow to learn the moves, right? And of course in the movie they practice enough they can pick up on the speed of the fight. It's like, we're just gonna go right from the practice mode. So most of the action in this movie is just boring. I think the only thing where I was like, there was one scene somewhat towards the beginning where one of them catches an arrow and shoots it back.
No, that's just the very first scene. Krona arrives on the scene. And
well, not him. I thought his looked terrible.
Oh,
there was
right.
One with the girl
does
it, catches an arrow and shoots it back, and I thought that was the only time I was like, okay, that looked okay.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. But it looked a little bit better than the sorcerer doing it. But yeah.
I guess. But so anyway, our very first
I'm trying. It's awful.
I have it written down. Our very first scene, Krona takes out all the guards that he apparently trained. Mm-hmm. And he does it very easily. And I laughed at him catching a spear and throwing it back. It just looked terrible. It looked so bad. Slow and...
Yep. Everything's slow.
And then the next action scene is the adopted father, who casually denies to the evil soldier that he has multiple daughters, just the one that you're raping in the back over there.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get heated until his wife shows some kind of emotion that her daughter is being raped.
Yep.
And the guards shoot her as a response at the back of the arrow. And then he gets angry. Some more spear throwing, which gets blocked Wonder Woman style by the head evil guard.
Yeah, but it looked terrible.
On the bracelet goes, ah!
Yeah.
And then, but it's okay. Adopted dad is not done yet. He picks up his homemade nunchucks and starts whacking people.
Oh my gosh, the nunchucks! They look so like, what is this?
I started humming the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme. I couldn't help it. Anyway,
oh man!
After he knocks one guy with the nunchucks, he gets shot like 3 times with arrows. It's like, all right, enough of this nonsense. And that's when the twins arrive on the scene, and they glow blue for a second.
They had a sword, which was part of the problem because having swords are illegal according to the law here.
But yeah, these twins cannot pull off any of the action. They have to crank the camera to make everything look a lot faster and competent than it actually is.
I don't think they cranked the camera that well. Like, yeah, it's
clearly
awful.
sped up, and it just looks terrible.
Yeah, they look so like Frankensteinish in like every single one of their movements. Block the spear law so bad. Nunchucks was his weapon.
Yep, that's the nunchucks just laying around.
Why are they blue again before the battle? This looks so bad.
The most competent action scene in the movie is the brothel fight.
Yeah. And it's mostly because of the guy moving around there.
You can sort of throw people around a little bit.
Right.
But it still sucks.
It's a lot of judo flips.
It's staged like a 50s Western saloon fight.
Yeah.
Everyone is so slow. What was it, that mezzanine thing that was above them? That he knocked people into?
It got broken and they slid off.
There's no ladder. There's no stairs. They're just up there.
Don't know how they got up there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, none of the brothel there made much sense. That was the guy who catches him in the dice was clearly such a bad ADR. It's like, that is not that dude's voice.
It's probably, they shot this movie in Mexico.
Yeah.
And they're just probably just a random guy in town.
Probably. Like, that would not surprise me.
You look like you could fit in. Why don't you come on over and we'll dub you.
Yeah. And some of this like green, disappearing and reappearing stuff. It kind of reminds me of Mr. Boogedy.
Yeah.
But I still think the effects in Mr. Boogedy are better.
Oh yeah, Disney wins.
I think Goat Boy gets involved in the action there towards the end or something.
Kind
right?
of. He sits there and laughs and watches it.
Yeah.
And he sort of the actor accidentally bends the sword while he's doing it too, which made me laugh. But the twins decide to get in on the fight too, and they have to fight like synchronized.
Yeah.
Everything is like they both punch at the same time, kick at the same time because they are the two who are one.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And they would use they would go on the back and kick and
One's grabbed each other by like the back and
it was really really lame.
It's all very once again super slow. And
so many of my notes is so slow.
Yep.
And then again, I have another note and then the monkeys.
These are my next note too. The monkey people with their laughing gas fruit.
Yeah, the laughing gas fruit. Oh man! And again, the Wizard of Oz monkeys look insanely better. I just can't get over that. But yeah, the laughing gas fruit, that is super bizarre. And then one of them gets shot in the butt, but otherwise not much. They get dispatched and taken pretty quickly. But I guess that the one getting shot in the butt was why one of them didn't get taken. One of the twins, the other one gets taken.
Yes. Mira stays back.
But nothing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then I'm sorry that my next note is about the impalement.
Yeah.
Because at first you just
action? I don't know.
Well, at first you just see him getting taken down to a loincloth. And I was like, you need to be taken down to a loincloth for impalement? And then then you see everything. You're like, oh, and now he's butt naked. Okay.
The next action scene is in the catacombs when they go to the temple.
Yeah, why are there fires going on underneath there?
Great question, buddy. Great question. Don't know. Don't have an answer for you.
Yeah. At first, the dead coming to life, I thought the initial of them coming to life looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job there, but then once they start
then
moving and getting
around really, and it's just
once they get into more light, then it's okay, never mind. But if they kept it dark and quick of them moving, it actually looked pretty good. But yeah, it all fell apart as it went.
Once again, extremely slow.
Extremely slow, and again, the hero's doing basically nothing in most of that action sequence.
Well, she does the big thing in the movie. She finally remembers the magic word that Krona told her to say if things look their most desperate.
Oh my gosh!
Can't remember what that word is.
Bat line or lion bat?
So let me explain.
It's Vital or Vital or
I don't know. Let me explain real quick. So she says this magic word. All the corpse army temporarily stops in their tracks.
Yeah.
And it summons also a bat creature with a lion's head.
Yeah.
And it also knocks her sister and Erlich out of their trance. What a word.
Yeah.
What a word. But yeah, this bat lion god thing.
I'd be knocked out of a trance if I saw a lion bat or bat lion, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's a weird looking thing.
It's 90% bat with a lion's head.
I don't know. I thought it was more
it's definitely
a lion's head. The body looked weird, and then clear bat wings.
Yeah.
Super bizarre, and it's just floating there. It doesn't do anything. Yeah.
Not for a while.
Not for a while. It takes a while for it to actually do something. The evil goddess princess thing did a whole lot more. Right, yeah. That one did a whole lot more at first. At least it's blowing up some of the ground so the dead soldiers could come up. It was doing a little bit more than the lion bat. But then the lion bat was all right, enough of this. It does a quick zap and she's dead. And then
shoots lightning out of its eyes to just destroy the Unicron evil princess head like that.
Yeah.
And then shoots the gate, which allows Pando to come in with his goat sheep herder army.
They just look like poor peasants, and they look like the most unenthusiastic peasants of all
They
time.
were literally just chasing after the goats and the sheep that Pando had convinced. Because
Maybe.
Pando can talk to animals.
I guess.
There's a bit of that. So, yeah, he gets in the car.
They looked so like, we don't want to be here. My animal's over here. They don't look like they're ready to revolt or rebel or, coming in like, yeah. There's none of that. It looks like very confused people going into this place.
Anyway, then there's a bunch of really bad sword fighting. Or like mow down a whole bunch of people.
And again, super slow, quick stabs, things of that nature. Nothing impressive.
Yeah.
And that's about it for
it's
action.
A 1. Yeah,
it's a 1. It's garbage. It's so bad. I'm like, I guess maybe that one time with her and the arrow was slightly okay, and the dead soldiers looked cool for a second, and that's about anything nice I can say.
I got nothing nice to say.
Yeah, it's hot garbage. 1. So, sidekick.
Mentor, sidekick, yeah. So I guess Krona is we got mentor and sidekicks in this movie.
Yeah, he's not in it for too long. He's, weird looking guru looking guy.
Krona is this wizard character who first shows up looking like a biker in a Buddhist cosplay. Monk cosplay.
Which all of the wig work in this movie is real awful.
And then when he shows up again later, he looks like Moses now.
Yeah, a little older.
The staff and everything, but completely different attire. Like, he looks like he just led the Jews out of the desert. That's what he looks like now. It's like, what?
Yeah, and I guess I'm going to give whatever magic I have left to you. And then goes and burns himself alive.
Yeah, he just like, all right, here's the magic word. Remember this when it's really bad. Now I'm going to go walk into a fire. What?
I guess I failed these people, and they died and all that.
I felt bad for these people. Did exactly what I asked them to do, and they died for it. So I'm going to go walk into a fire to atone. Wow, that sucks. Okay.
And I was like, did they? Because I don't think these girls were hidden very well. Although clearly a lot of people were.
Have you seen that?
A lot of people were fooled because the two sidekicks were like, "You're women?" when they're seeing them topless. It's like, are you kidding me? So they're shocked that they're women. And this is after the brothel fight.
Yep.
Right? But during the brothel fight, they're like looking at them like, oh, wow, okay, they can fight. Are they just thinking like, oh, they can fight because they look like scrawny boys and they're shocked?
Sure.
Is that the thinking? Okay.
Know.
Anyway, carry on. Garbage.
Exactly. Pando is the satyr that travels with them.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think he can talk to animals. He mostly just hangs back and laughs. Mm-hmm. Except for when he watches Mira experience a sympathy orgasm. And he seems to go insane.
And he finds some random frolicking girls in the woods.
He disappears from the movie, and when we see him again, he is just hanging out with these like 3 nymphs dancing in the woods.
Yeah.
or in the field.
So random. It's like, what?
And this is the moment where Hondo, the evil monkey man, in retaliation for not being given his rape victim, has brought Baldur's sword to Pando to bring and gather an army or whatever to go save. Pando doesn't do shit. He does deliver a sword, but it's not really all that helpful. And they already have.
Well, I mean, I guess he gathers the peasant.
But they don't do anything. They're already losing.
They come at the end when the day is saved already.
The day's already saved.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I guess that really it's cool. I gave you a word. You said the word at the right time. That's all that needed to happen.
Yep. And shoot your dad.
Not a whole lot. Yeah, I guess until he rises again.
And then we have Baldur. Maybe the closest thing we can get to competent in this movie.
Yeah, I guess so.
Apparently he's been in 56 battles before he saw the twins kill the guards in the beginning of the movie. And that was the best battle he ever saw.
Yeah, he's got this Viking, Lord of the Rings type look going on.
Yeah, he keeps on making Viking type references, Ragnarok and...
Yeah, horrible wig again.
Mentions real bad.
Real bad.
He's a moron, much like everyone else in the movie, who can't tell the twins are women until they get naked. Yep. But he's also the only character in this movie who doesn't want to fuck the twins, so... Yeah,
he's the only one protecting them somewhat, because if it wasn't for him... Yeah, Goat Boy would have had his way with that twin if he didn't step in.
He very heroically stops Pando from molesting Mira.
And he knows Ehrlich so well. He knows how he makes women orgasm.
Yeah, he's like, I hear her orgasming. I know that's Ehrlich's work. Okay.
Yeah. And then she has a second orgasm. It's like, yep, that's Ehrlich. Like, what? What are you doing with this dude?
Anyway, he seems about as uncomfortable in a city as the twins.
Yeah, which, by the way, that whole, like, when they're going through the city and the guy's getting his hands chopped off, I'm like, why is this going this long? This is so, like, what is, like, nothing is happening.
And this city, it looks like the worst, like, what's the Indiana Jones thing at Disney where they do like, the stunt spectacular? It looks like a shittier version of that. Yeah,
I've seen better stuff at a Renaissance fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, he can throw a punch. So, there's that.
I guess. No, Ehrlich's the only one that was like somewhat could do something physically, I thought. And really that wasn't a whole lot either.
So he's apparently a barbarian prince who doesn't want to
well, they all
war.
call him a barbarian. They call him a barbarian, but there's a throwaway line of him basically being a prince because he ran away from his daddy's kingdom because he doesn't want to do war
or rule. Yeah. He just wants to screw and gamble.
Yeah, and roam around, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And anyway, he ends up with both twins because they had a good drug experience together.
Yeah, I guess. The two are one. What can I say? The two are one.
They all suck. It's a 1 again.
It's a 1 again. It's 4, man.
Yeah. This movie gets a 4. It's garbage.
Without a doubt, it's a 4.
Don't watch it.
It is not worth anybody's time.
No.
Because it's not even a so bad it's good. I mean, there are a couple parts like seeing the bat lion. I laughed. I definitely laughed at that one.
Yeah.
But so much of it doesn't like. It's not a laughter for a lot of it. Like again, when with the whole nobody knows that they're women. I'm just angry at the screen the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I had to pause it and take breaks. I'm so angry that I'm wasting my time with this. This is terrible. Yeah,
there's again nothing rewarding, and I like some movies that are so bad it's good, but this is not a so bad it's good movie. It's just straight up freaking bad.
Yeah, well, this will surprise you. It was written in 1 week by Jim Wynorski, who was working in Roger Corman's advertising department at the time. And this is a man who would go on to write and direct Chopping Mall, an 80s slasher classic, and The Return of Swamp Thing.
Which the original Swamp Thing comes out in this year, right?
Yes, it does. And that's right. And then he would do a lot of softcore porn after that. I'm sure you're very surprised about that fact.
Yeah.
Like, I've been looking through his IMDb, I'm like, wow, that is a lot of softcore porn.
I guess he had a knack for it. They saw it. They saw that he had his talent here for softcore porn.
That's where his heart was really, I think. It's what it came
because this is pretty close to softcore porn, especially, again, in that orgasm scene. Like, oh, my God. Like I need George Takei in that moment.
Oh my! Just a couple.
Don't call me Tiny.
Just a couple of movies. He did the Witches of Brestwick, the Witches of Brestwick 2, Busty Cops 2.
No.
The Da Vinci Coed.
Wow.
The Hills Have Thighs. Busty Cops Go Hawaiian.
Must we go Hawaiian?
The Busty Coeds versus the Lusty Cheerleaders. And so on. There's so many more. It just keeps going.
Wow.
Man, he really cranked these out.
I think this is it for the twins acting wise, right? I think one does like a random Law and Order episode in like the 90s and the other one doesn't act again. And then I think they were both in another 1982 movie that we considered, but then decided it was not really an action.
Which one was that? I don't even remember.
What was it? Not I Spy, but it's something like that.
I the Jury?
Yeah,
I know we are doing that movie, man. It is still.
We are doing. I thought we decided that wasn't really action.
I bought the Blu-ray. We are watching it. That's
oh my
funny.
gosh, Okay, so we're seeing the twins again then,
That's oh my god,
because they're in that movie. Isn't that insane?
that's incredible.
Yeah, so they did that movie, and then they did this movie, and then one twin didn't do anything again. The other one, I think, was like a random Law and Order or something. So, yeah.
So this movie had a budget of $500,000, which came to about $1.5 million today,
Yeah.
and it made $1.3 million,
Wow.
which translates to about $4 million today's money. So Corman never lost money.
Wow. I wonder how people left the drive-in with that movie.
Well, supposedly one of the reasons he slashed the budget on the director was because Corman got really nervous about the home video market, and that it was killing drive-ins.
Already? I didn't
Drive-in
know the home
industry.
video market was blowing up that early in the 80s already.
Supposedly, so he was nervous about it. And drive-ins were dying, so he's like, all right, I gotta make sure I make my money back, which he did.
Wow. That's kind of crazy.
Mm.
All right. I guess you saw the writing. So, yeah, my first note in general is I've never heard of this production company.
Oh, New World. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't know it. What is this, like, jazz music?
That is James Horner's score from Battle Beyond the Stars, which apparently he has reused a bunch of times.
Okay, no, I noticed that's the one that plays in the end. I'm talking about the beginning music.
I don't
It was just different, yes. But in the end music, I was like, wait a minute, is this Star Trek music? And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a song that has been used countless times. I didn't realize that it's been used so many times. And it's like interesting. Battle of Stars was like a Star Wars rebuttal. And obviously, I guess that movie bombed, but the soundtrack has been more successful from that movie and been reused in various different movies, including Star Trek, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, in the beginning, it's like some weird freaking jazz music, which is weird. And then a lot of my other general notes is, wow, okay, nudity, more nudity, wow, more nudity again.
I have no more notes. Not for this movie.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it for me. Garbage movie. I'm not happy that we watched it.
Me either.
It's going in at a 4.
Yeah.
And it is clearly worse than The Sword and the Sorcerer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which
you appreciate
is
the Sword and the
crazy.
Sorcerer now, don't you?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of crazy that we found something worse.
Much worse.
Yeah,
Much
Sword and the
worse.
Sorcerer was way more entertaining to watch than this.
Yep.
Not that it was a particularly good movie or anything, but anyway.
So you're up next.
So I guess we are in our. I guess I'll leave out the 2 bottom lists because I'm just gonna do top 5 is still First Blood at 17, 48 Hours 12, Junkman at 10, Silent Rage at 10, and 1 Down 2 to Go at 5 at 8.5.
Yeah.
And the new worst movie is Sorceress.
By far.
By far. So
What are we watching next, Tim?
yes, I have it picked out. I'm not randomly choosing this time.
What you got?
I know, right? All right, look at me go. So I'm going to go with Death Wish 2.
No kidding.
Yeah, I figured I want to go with something I've never seen before still. I'm not going to go. My last pick was already a solid pick, obviously, with First Blood. Mm-hmm. So why not try it out? Try something different, too. I think Death Wish 2 is definitely very different than the fantasy action we just watched.
Yeah.
Change it up. So, I guess we're going to do the same thing again, maybe, that you're going to have to tell me what I may or may not be missing from the original Death Wish when I watch this one, because I have not seen the original Death Wish. I know a lot about it, but not watching it. I know it because of its...
You've seen many versions of it.
I've seen many versions, but I've also seen like clips. I've seen people do impressions of it, basically.
Bronson, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Bronson. And so like I get the general gist and the of it, but you'll have to let me know if there's anything I'm missing.
Not really.
Fair enough. Well, it's on Tubi, everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've done Tubi yet.
Tubi.
No, we haven't. We haven't done Tubi yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've done Freevee, Plex, Shout Factory, Crackle, Paramount Plus, HBO Max, and now Tubi for the first time.
Love the streaming era.
Hey, thank you. That's the one positive there. Probably more commercials, but oh well. So yeah, Death Wish 2.
Let's go!
All right, you ready, I guess?
God, yes. I don't ever want to think about this movie again.
That is it for us. Please show your support for the podcast by leaving a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, or wherever you happen to listen to the show. Also, sharing is caring. Be sure to follow us on social media to get the latest show updates. You can contact us by emailing at filmbrochamp@gmail.com or find us by searching for the hashtag FilmBroChamp. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Film Bro Championship Podcast. Peace out, everyone.
Don't watch the movie! Don't watch it!